to the need for us as a country.
Once again, not Mr. Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I keep forgetting, but I'll get it right along the way. Thank you for reminding me. If I make the same mistake, remind me once more until I get it right, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, this bill addresses a very important need in our society. The need to ensure that whatever Kenyans are eating is actually certified and passes the test of what good food should encompass. Madam Speaker, many times Kenyans ask us that why is it that in the past many people who live to be 80, 90, 100, yet nowadays to get people to live past the good age of 80 is something extremely difficult. There are diseases that are coming up so frequently and being reported, cancer being just one of them, Madam Speaker, and people are beginning to question, is it something to do with our feeding habits and so on and so forth. Therefore, such an important bill that sets into place the exercise of coordinating all these food and feed safety authorities actually, Madam Speaker, because the bill speaks to an authority or a body called competent authority, and it's defined in the requisite pages of the bill, Madam Speaker, on what a competent authority is. That a competent authority means the public institutions responsible for official control set out in the first schedule or such other public entity as the Cabinet Secretary may, by order of Gazette, determine. Madam Speaker, in the closing parts of the bill, those such institutions, those that at least presently exist, the Dairy Board, fertilizer, and so on and so forth, Madam Speaker, extremely important public institutions, which in the absence of a body or an office that overall coordinates all the activities, it's easy for a lot of the things to fall in through the racks and nobody to actually keenly check and see what is it that is being done by these agencies that is not in sync with what the government or what an administration is supposed to do. In fact, Madam Speaker, I have problems with this bill in its architecture, though I agree largely with the fact that there is need for an overall coordinating body for all these competent authorities that look into the safety of the what Kenyans are eating, Madam Speaker. It is my strong suggestion, and perhaps after we have set up this office, we would wish to compare with other jurisdictions. I know, Madam Speaker, by watching and by practice, that in other jurisdictions, what they do is that all these institutions actually are housed, and together with those of drugs, because you cannot separate actually, because it's what human beings consume, and that's why you'll find, I don't know which particular jurisdiction I can cite off the top of my mind, but I know that Food and Drug Authority, for example, I think in the US and such countries, Madam Speaker, they are all coordinated under one roof, so that you have various departments that handle, as opposed to this silo mentality that I continue to see. In fact, this bill solves part of the problem, but it still further creates a problem that I see with government of Kenya and how it's organized. This silo mentality of ensuring that you only have one institution looking out for a particular aspect. Yet, it is you could argue either way, because of course, others have presented an argument, Madam Speaker, before that. What if you have structural failure in that particular institution to the sense that the person leading it, and you have it rest, you have rested the authority of that particular institution in one hand, let's say in the person of the Director General, then it brings challenges, because all their inefficiencies and incompetence are shared across all these other institutions, as opposed to you can have maybe the people in charge of the drugs. If there are institutional weaknesses or competence in the person leading that institution, at least it doesn't affect the food. But I still contend and hold the view, Madam Speaker, that the benefits of having all of them housed under one roof far outweighs what will be the disadvantages of, or the advantages of having them separated, Madam Speaker. And I will be pursuing these thoughts later with the responsible and competent authorities, so that we can find a way of bringing together all these institutions that take care of what we eat in terms of food and medicine in this country, Madam Speaker, so that there is better coordination. But at least this